Hi guys, it's Justine, and today I'm going to be telling you about a new subscription service that recently contacted me and asked me if I wanted to try out their product. This subscription service is called Raw Spice Bar, and it is a service that is $8 a month, and they send you spices and recipes that you can use those spices in, which is so much fun. And the spices aren't like your normal spices. They're from all over the world. So I'm going to start off by just unboxing the kit that I got. I think this is actually January or February's kit, but I got it a bit late and then I went on vacation. And so, but I have it now, and I'm going to first unbox it, and then I'm going to prepare one of the recipes. So the first thing in here is recipes for all diets online, and if you don't like the recipes that are actually included in this kit that they send you, you can go to their website, which I think is it's kind of set up like a blog, which is a lot of fun, and they have even more recipes for you to try out. The one that I got is the Navajo flavor kit. And yes, I do believe that this was January's kit. And so I'm very late to the game, but I'm still gonna go ahead and make it anyways. And then the next thing that is included in here are the spices that are in this kit. And so these are the spices. That's such fun packaging. I love the vibrant colors. There is cumin and oregano rub, 0.3 ounces, freshly ground red chilies, 0.3 ounces, and sumac and sesame za'atar, and that is also 0.3 ounces. And all of these are freshly ground. And and on the back of each of these little flavor packets, it also has more of what is inside each of the packets. So for example, the cumin and oregano rub has cumin, coriander, garlic, oregano, and then the freshly ground red chilies has New Mexico chilies, ancho chilies, guajillo chilies, and arbo chilies. And the sumac and sesame za'atar has toasted white sesame seeds, sumac, thyme, savory spices. So that's really nice that they tell you everything that's included in each of these little baggies. So if you ever want to recreate these recipes, you can go ahead and buy all the spices that are in the flavor kits on your own. So the next thing in here are some recipe cards, and the first one is of New Mexico pozole, and I think that it's very funny that this is the kit that they sent me, because if you're new to my channel, I am from New Mexico. My family makes pozole all of the time, and so this is not a recipe that is new to me, but one that is vegetarian pozole, which is on the other side of this card, and I've never had that before, so that's the one that I'm going to be making today for my demo. And then both of these recipes, you use the Raw Spice Bar's freshly ground chili spice kit and the cumin and oregano rub spice kit. And then for these next two recipes, you use the sumac and sesame za'atar kits. And so you can make two things total with these spice kits. You just need to choose which recipes you prefer. The first one is a whole roasted sumac za'atar, which looks like a head of cauliflower in that photo, but the one that I want to make is the sumac za'atar flatbread. I feel like that would go really well with pozole, and so that's what I'm going to be making today, is vegetarian pozole and sumac za'atar flatbread. I also think it's kind of funny that I got the Navajo flavor kit, which New Mexico is obviously influenced a lot by Navajo culture, and that's where I'm from. And of all the flavor kits, like all of the flavor kits the different spices and flavors are from all around the world, and of course the first box, or the first package that I get is one that I'm already familiar with, but I've never had this particular flatbread, so I'm excited to try that out. So now I'm just going to take you guys to my kitchen, and I'm gonna go ahead and make these recipes. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the vegetarian pozole recipe. The first thing it says to do in the directions are to, well, the first thing it says is to prepare dried hominy, but I'm going to use canned so I can skip the dried. You might be able to hear my kids in the background. Anyways, it says to take 2 white onions, chop them up, and 1/4 a cup of olive oil, and put them in a pot for 15 to 20 minutes. So that is what I have here. I've not turned the stove on yet, but I'm going to go ahead and cook these for 15 to 20 minutes. And yeah. Okay, so this has been on for about 10 minutes. One thing that I noticed is in the ingredients, it lists 3 cloves of chopped garlic, but in the instructions, it doesn't tell you when to put the chopped garlic in. So I went ahead and also put that in because I figured it would amp the flavor of the garlic to have it in there with the oil. Next, it says to throw in the freshly ground red chilies and to leave them in for 5 minutes. So here are the chilies, and I don't know if you can tell, but the color is just so beautiful. And so I'm just going to go ahead and dump those in. And stir it. And leave it in and let it sizzle for 5 minutes. So it has been about 5 minutes, and so the next step is to add 2 large zucchini, 2 cups of corn, and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, and leave that on for 6 to 8 minutes. So here's what it looks like with the zucchini and corn, and it just needs to cook for a little bit to brown. Next, we are going to add in the cumin and oregano rub from Raw Spice Bar and let that cook for 2 to 3 minutes or until it is nice and fragrant. I can't stir this with my left hand. Next, the recipe says to use 1 can of dried hominy. It doesn't say what size of can though. This one is 25 ounces, and so I went ahead and dumped that in. Next, after this, it says add 5 cups of water and bring it to a boil, but I don't know if I can fit 5 cups of water in this, so we will see. So now I'm going to start on the sumac za'atar flatbread. As you can tell, I got some water on the recipe card, but the first thing it says to do is to take 1 cup of lukewarm water, half a teaspoon of sugar, and 1 package of active dry yeast, and let it sit for 10 minutes, and yeah. So I was going over the ingredients to the pozole again, and it says it needs 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar. I'm assuming that means apple cider vinegar. It doesn't say when to put it in, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now. Next, the instructions say to mix 3 cups of unbleached flour with 2 teaspoons of salt, make a little mound, and put 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and the yeast mixture, which I am going to do now. And mix it up and then knead it into a ball. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now it is rolled up into a ball, so I'm going to cover it with a damp cloth and let it sit for an hour to let the dough rise. So now the pozole is done, so I'm just going to have a little bowl for a taste test. This does not look like any pozole I've ever seen. It doesn't look like the pozole in the picture. I followed the recipe the best that I could, but like I said, it did leave out a couple of ingredients in the actual cooking process. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try it as is. Like I said, I followed it to the best that I could. And my final verdict on the vegetarian pozole is that it is pretty good, but it doesn't taste like any pozole that I have ever had before. And I did have to add quite a bit of salt in order to really get out those flavors when I was cooking it, as well as after I served it, I need to look at the viewfinder. I did add quite a bit of salt. So yeah, pretty good, but just not what I expected. Also on the ingredients and directions recipe sheet, it says you can top it off with peppery radishes, avocado, chopped cilantro, or squeeze of lime. But the way that I've always done it is here. I'm gonna switch the camera to look at me. But the way that I've always done it is I've always added like Mexican cheese, sour cream, tomatoes, kind of like almost like a Frito pie, but with pozole. But I don't know how traditional that is, or if that's like the more like Americanized or like white people way to do it. So yeah. Also, one more thing I wanted to add is that I think the pozole might need more hominy. Maybe I should have added a second can, or at least an extra 1/2 of a can. So that's just my judgment of it based on the pozole that I've always had. And yeah, next I'm going to finish letting this dough rise, and I will get back to the flatbread recipe. Okay, so here's where we are at. I went ahead and did a couple more steps without filming, so I'm just going to explain what I did. After the dough set for an hour to rise, afterwards I cut it into 6 balls, let the balls stand for another 15 minutes, and then flattened them, and this is where we are. Next I'm going to take the sumac, sesame, and za'atar and sprinkle it on top of each of the flatbreads. So here's what they look like, and I'm going to pop them in the oven for 8 minutes. And here's the finished product. On the directions it says it takes 8 minutes to cook. It actually took about 20 minutes to cook, and my oven is pretty accurate. So yeah, I don't know if it's because I made the bread too thick, but yeah, it took about 20 minutes to cook all the way. And now I'm going to go ahead and try a piece and let you know what I think. And the bread is so good. I think it's going to pair perfectly with the pozole. And that is it for my quick little cooking demo using Raw Spice Bar. Thank you to Raw Spice Bar for sending me this package. It was really great. The food was really great, and I had a lot of fun cooking. If you want to sign up for Raw Spice Bar, I will have their website linked down below. Like I said, it's only $8 a month, and they send you a spice kit they send you a spice kit and recipes so that you can use the spices for the recipes, just like I did today. My Instagram and Twitter will also be linked down below if you want to follow me on either of those. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.